First and foremost, I just want to thank everyone who's checking out this Kickstarter video. I'm grateful for even the consideration of your support of this project. Hopefully you dig what I'm doing here and you want to be a part of it. My name is Dan. I'm a guitarist, singer, and songwriter that lives in Brooklyn, New York. What you're hearing now are the first stages of my debut album as Musical Monk, entitled The Spaces in Between. This is one of the funkier numbers called The Get Down. So like I said, this is from the earliest stages of recording. We still have to do a bunch of piano, lead vocals, backup vocals, lead guitar, percussion, and anything else we feel like doing in the end of the editing process. After that, there's mixing, mastering, album artwork, and then producing the 500 albums that we're going to start with, and then advertising the album release. It's a lot of work left to do, about $6,000 worth. Now I'm good for about $3,000 of that, but if we can raise the additional $3,000 on Kickstarter together, then I know I can put this album over the top and make it really how I want it to be. Allow me to introduce who's involved with the record, starting with the engineer, John Davis. John is the co-founder and owner of the Bunker Studio. Even in high school, he was known for being an insanely talented musician who could hear and tune frequencies that most people can't even dream of. It comes to no surprise that John's Bunker Studio has already become reputed as one of the best music studios in New York City. This is version 2.0 of the Bunker. They just reopened a new, bigger, better space. As you can see, they've got a lot of beautiful gear. But my favorite thing about the Bunker Studio is that they've used a lot of natural wood.
And who doesn't like wood? The smell of wood is really good.
Next, let's meet Sean Dixon, our drummer. Sean and I met because we both teach an incredible music program in New York City for very little kids. Now Sean is a lot like his idol, Bruce Lee. He flows like water. Whereas someone like Chuck Norris would go through the rock, Bruce Lee, or Sean Dixon, would flow like water around the rock, which makes for a much smoother ride, as you can hear from his drumming. Playing bass on the album is one of my all-time favorite people, Ryan Marks. Ryan's also one of my favorite bass players for good reason. Check this. Funky. Now Ryan had a blast recording this album with me, but I think he might have gotten a bigger thrill from getting to play all the different basses that were in the studio, as evidenced by these pictures. Here we've got Ryan playing Eric Krasno's bass from So Alive. Here we've got him playing John's bass from when he plays with Jojo Mayer in Nerve. I'm pretty sure he's making a centerfold out of this picture, and then I'm not quite sure what's happening here. Anyways, after Ryan laid down the bass, it was time for me to do the rhythm guitar. So I played my electric rhythm, and then I did my acoustic rhythm, and did the sitar guitar that we heard earlier. Pretty basic stuff. Really, I've got a lot of my more tricky work to do after all the keyboard and vocals are done. I decided pretty early on that the album really needed two different keyboard players. First, let me introduce the mysterious Tim Peck. Tim, Ryan, and I have actually played in a band together for years. We're not that active anymore, but years ago we used to play all the time. We played about 300 shows together total. Now after all that time, I knew there was no one better to beef up my sound and throw down some dirty funk than Tim Peck on the organ and the funky plaid. We call him the Timmy P-licious for obvious good reason. The dude came into the studio and was a monster on his tracks. So happy he could make it down to do the album with me. Now while Tim is playing on the organ and funky clap on the album, I really wanted to mix a lot of vibes together, so I asked another player to play all the piano on the album. Her name is Soo Young Yu, and her playing is simply beautiful.
Most of the nights a cool wind is there, silently sweeping my guilt from the air. And though I believe what I get must be fair, it seems like a chore just to make myself care. When what it all wasn't really what's there. And so all I want now is for something to share, but it seems like a chore. So
that's where we stand now. Soo Young has to put down all her amazing, beautiful piano work. Then I'm gonna do lead vocals, then lead guitar.
Then Andrew Zapata and Sarah Wood are going to do backup vocals. They're two fantastic singers that play with in a band called Zap and the Naturals. Plus, they're in love, they're a couple, studio romance. You can't ask for more than that.
Then we've got to mix, master, and produce the first 500 copies of the album, which also includes doing the album artwork. And then we've got to advertise the release, of course. Now that's a lot of work left to do, about $6,000 worth of work actually. I've got $3,000 ready to go, but if I can raise another $3,000 in Kickstarter with you guys, then I know I can put this album over the top. Thank you so much for all your support. I really appreciate it, and I wish you all the best, happy, safe New Year. Take care, everyone.